Hi, this is the Sea Dog, making sure my microphone's on. It is. Welcome to Wrestling Generation's first podcast. I believe it's the first one. I don't think we had one before this. We're doing this sort of mix between Tony the Pizza Guy style and the GM Challenge recap show, where we show some action from the latest WWE video game while we do the show. I'm going to do the show while this match goes on, and speaking of these two, I thought this was going to be the main event Monday night Monday Night Raw, since these two both got the pin last week in the second chance five-way. But instead, it looks as though they're going to start the Elimination Chamber off with three guys and have a 7-man Elimination Chamber. Which the thought crossed my mind, but I didn't think they'd go for it. Unless the commercials I saw on the WWE Network were wrong or I was dreaming, that's what they're doing. Which leaves me wondering, what in the world are they going to do on Raw this week? Probably some sort of tag team preview match for the men's elimination chamber. Probably a women's tag team or 6-person tag preview for the elimination chamber. Maybe even an 8-woman where maybe Asuka and Nia Jax both join a elimination chamber related team. Thinking of who's in the elimination chamber. I'm not sure how they do that for the women's. Because you have Bayley and Sasha, who are friends, but they've been kind of rivaling lately. But then Nia Jax both ran over both of them, so you do have that. So that would put Bayley and Banks on one side and Nia Jax on the other, which would put Asuka on that side. And then you'd figure the only other face in the Elimination Chamber is Mickie James, so you'd put that over there. And then put gosh, why am I having so much trouble? And then you'd put Absolution and Bliss over on the other side, but then that kind of messes up that whole Bliss Mickie James thing they got going on. So we'll see what they do. I really have very little idea what they're gonna do. They haven't been featuring the cruiserweights much because they got their own thing going on 205 Live. Excuse me. Which I kind of like. I like not being able to predict what's going to happen on WWE, so good on them not being predictable right now. Yeah, I know some of you guys, I totally know what's going to happen. And you'll guess, and you might be right. No, anyone can guess and be right. But I really don't see how you can guess what's going to happen. There's so much that can happen on Raw leading up to Elimination Chamber. Or to the Raw, before the Elimination Chamber, the go-home show, as they say. Elimination Chamber itself, I mean, you have 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Both of those will probably take like 45 minutes. That leaves another hour and a half of show. You have, you have Hardy Wyatt will probably be Elimination Chamber. That'll probably take up 2 hours, so question is, what do you do for the other hour, and maybe a preview, or not preview, kickoff show match. Kickoff show match could be anything. And you got to figure whatever happens in the Elimination Chamber, they got to be careful because they're probably also building the WrestleMania, which I believe the way they're working it, WrestleMania title-wise will probably be like The Miz will defend against somebody because I don't think he's going to win Elimination Chamber. Obviously, Universal title defended. I think they're going to do the usual four-way tag match that they've been throwing into every Mania, it seems like, for the last few years. At least with the Raw tag team titles. And speaking of tag titles, I'm hoping that SmackDown Live is building for an Usos Bludgeon Brother tag team match at Mania, not Fastlane. I think they dropped the ball a few years ago, bringing in the Ascension around December, having them rolling over teams, and then just suddenly, we're going to job them out. They should have built Ascension up right to Mania to face the Usos. Would have been a heck of a a heck of a 2-on-2 tag match between a team that's been running the scene, that was running the scene for a while, to this up-and-coming team who had been running the scene in NXT and rolling over everyone for the last 4 months. So we'll see if they do that. SmackDown Live does that, or they'll waste that match on Fastlane. I think what they should do, let the Usos have the night off. And I don't know why we have the Super Bowl score at the bottom of the screen there. Let the Usos have the night off. And have a match to determine who will face the Usos at Mania. And let it be like a multiple team match. You have the New Day in there. You can have American Alpha 2.0. That's Gable and Benjamin, by the way. You can have the Bludgeon Brothers. Maybe throw in Breezango. And you could do it three-way style or gauntlet style. Few ways you can do that. You have plenty of time to decide. But that's how I would do it if I was booking SmackDown. Other things with SmackDown Live, since I'm keen on that. SmackDown Live seems kind of a little disappointed in that show right now because they're building up this main event 5-way world title match. Like, either this is just a skip match, just to make sure the title's on the line, and have AJ go over and continue to WrestleMania, which, I'm not happy with how kind of dull that is. So the main event's not that interesting to me for Fastlane. Or they can have AJ lose the title and not have AJ versus Shinsuke at Mania, which would, I think, tick a lot of people off. The third possibility is AJ loses, get a 1-1 rematch, wins that, and then faces Shinsuke at Mania. So I hope they at least use that 5-way world title match to build up build something up for Mania. I'm not sure what, though. Which is kind of good. It's good not to be able to predict what's going to happen, because there was a couple of years that by SummerSlam, you knew a lot of the matches for WrestleMania. I mean, a lot of that was like because of leaks and whatnot. So WWE's doing a good job preventing that from happening. I think they have been throwing some misinformation out too, which I think has been helping. They're really doing a good job fighting the battle of spoilers. No, is this the end of the show? Nope. I'm going to continue on. Let me hit on some other stuff real quick. 205 Live, very entertaining right now, and Mixed Match Challenge, both entertaining right now. Love the tournament. Some surprise wins in 205 Live. Mixed Match Challenge. That's been entertaining, and not just the matches, but like the little psychological and the stuff outside of just the wrestling in the matches have been entertaining. Lana is the best. Lana's number one. Congratulations, Lana, winning her first WWE match of any kind. NXT's been alright. Interesting to see what happened with Gargano and Almas. Be hard to believe that Gargano will win the title in a taped episode of NXT, but it's possible. Or it might just be a way to get Gargano off NXT into the main roster, which would be interesting to see where he would go. Would he go straight to 205 Live during this tournament? Well, you see, I would believe that's possible, but I'm pretty sure they want that Tommaso Ciampa Gargano match to happen sometime soon on NXT. Because if you wait till Gargano moves on to the main roster and Ciampa eventually follows, you're going to have to keep building that up. I think now they've pretty much built up the Ciampa Gargano match plenty. So we'll see what happens with that. Impact Wrestling, Austin Aries successfully defended the title last week. This coming week, they have the number one contendership, or, well, Johnny Impact puts his number one contendership up on the line versus EC3. I know EC3 is going to NXT, or is actually already on NXT. That kind of messes up Impact for a few months. I don't even know how many months they taped for. Probably like 3 or 4 months worth. I mean, shoot. They did 3, almost 4 months worth of Impacts after Bound for Glory in Canada, which I think is a mistake. I think they need to go back to that monthly actual pay-per-views, or maybe just monthly live episode and then record 3 episodes after that, like the next day or something. Let that live episode of Impact be like the pay-per-view every month. Because one of the things they've been lacking is any build-up or any, it's like, oh, next week's a world title match. What? But they do. They have announced the Austin Aries will defend the Impact World title, which used to be global, but now it's world again, against the winner of the Johnny Impact EC3 match on March 8th, I think they said it was. And the show continues. Checking the calendar, the exact date. That, yeah, March 8th. Which, that's good for them. Like, they're giving you a 3-week build-up, which isn't usual for Impact, and I think it's something they've been missing. Because they'll just say, oh yeah, Impact Genesis is next week. What? Yeah, it's going to be a huge show. Okay. Whew. But, like every year, it seems like, when we hit the, they start new episodes, newly recorded episodes of a year, of a new year, they start out really well. And then things kind of like, oh geez, something happens, and the year ends kind of rough, which again, for like the 3rd year in a row, this past year's ended with some controversy with Jeff Jarrett leaving, or whatever, and then Jim Cornette left, but that was just because he couldn't be in Canada, which messes up that whole storyline of him being the guy in charge when he can't be in Canada for like 3 months or be on the show, or he can't be on the show because he couldn't be in Canada for the recording. Yeah. By the way, check out Wrestling Generations on Facebook. We have said an article of why AJ Styles wasn't the best wrestler of 2017. Have another few other articles coming up on the Facebook page. Hoping website comes soon. One about the rankings of the titles in wrestling, which promotions are considered major promotions, which promotions are linked to the three big wrestling entities. By the way, if you're watching this live, you can ask any questions you want in the right-hand corner. I don't know why the rest are not counting this. Is this the end of the show? No, we're still going. Well, as a wrestling fan, I love wrestling. I'm trying to watch as much major promotion wrestling as I can. But there are a lot of major wrestling promotions, sorry. I mean, there's 3 in the U.S. with WWE, obviously, Ring of Honor, and TNA, and kind of NWA, especially now that it's starting to try to build up steam. It's got a show on YouTube with the 10 Pounds of Gold, run by Billy Corgan. And really, NWA, I consider it a major promotion just because it's how long it's been around and its history. And it used to be connected with TNA. But anyway, you still got 2 or 3 promotions in Mexico. You got 3 or 4 promotions in Japan. And you got these other promotions that are linking up with the major promotions. And it's really, there's 3 big entities. There's WWE, everyone they're connected with, which is mostly just other WWE brands. But there's some smaller brands they've kind of been hooking up with. TNA is linked with Pro Wrestling Noah and AAA. New Japan is kind of the lead promotion, linked up with Ring of Honor and CMLL. So that's kind of the world we live in right now, wrestling-wise. And this is the end of the show as this match has ended. Comment below, let us know what you think, what we can work on, what you want to see in this show. We're going to try to do a weekly, late Sunday night, early Monday morning recording. So, pay-per-views, we can hit that up right after they happen. Like next week after Elimination Chamber. So, like this video if you would, be so kindly. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to find out when more Wrestling Generation talk happens. There's a cat in my face. Who let a cat in the Sea Dog studio?